The K-sets are a type of double-decker suburban electrical multiple unit that currently operate on the Sydney Train suburban network. Built by A. Gonian & Co., now UGL Rail, the sets first entered service in 1981, operating under the State Rail Authority, and later City Rail. Originally entering service as the R sets, over time the newer sets were labelled as K-sets. The K-set trains introduce air conditioning and extended peak-hour suburban services between Gosford and the Sydney metropolitan area to connect the North Shore Line and North Sydney. These trains also saw limited deployment on the South Coast Line. The second batch of K-set trains featured factory-installed air conditioning, a first for suburban trains, with the entire fleet later retrofitted. Only 2 8-car sets remain in service of May 2026, only running publicly on weekday peak hours. The K-sets are currently the oldest in Sydney Trains fleet, including intercity trains, following the retirement of the V-sets in January 2026. However, all good things must come to an end, and the K-sets are set to retire between August and September 2026. And on the 30th of May 2026, the Sydney Bus Museum, Sydney Tramway Museum, and Historical Electric Traction ran a farewell tour for the Ks, running with K61 to a series of locations and what had been named the Silver Sunset Tour. Our K-set for the day would be a 4-car K-set, K61, built in the 1980s and built by Gonian in Newcastle. This set had an interesting arrangement, with half the set being a first series and the other half second series. The tour ran to many locations K-sets no longer run to, such as the Central Coast Newcastle line, Eastern Suburbs line, an evening run up from Macarthur to Clarendon, and many other locations with many photo stops along the line. We start our day with empty cars transfer 888A from Flemington to Sydney Terminal at Petersham. Following its run up to Gosford on 888B, 888C from Gosford to Central was seen just before Woy Woy. Now on its way to Hurstville on 888D, K61 speeds through Alloa. At Hurstville, the set sat for around an hour for a lunch break, first seen stabled and departing the siding. Now on its way to Bondi Junction on 888E, the train heads through Roxdale. Bound for Macarthur, 888F heads past Beverly Hills as the sun sets. Now we're on our way to Clarendon in the last minutes of flights. 888G stops at Casula for a photo stop. The train is now seen departing Casula. Our coverage concludes here. Thank you for watching.